in terms of like the comedic space or just making content in general, do you think that is there a room to kind of thread the line of what's over the line and what's fucking okay, or do you think it should be what Kevin Hart is saying, which is, hey, if you don't like it, just don't watch it?
Definitely with Kevin Hart. I'm leaning more towards Kevin Hart just because, fucking, if I don't like a show, and let's say it's not even about comedy, it's not even about like offending me or whatever, like all that shit. It's just this show's not for me.
Right.
I'm not gonna watch the show.
Right.
That it's simple as that. And all this like cancel culture stuff, especially in the comedy world, it's like if you're worried about it, then yeah, do what Katt Williams was saying, like change up your act so that you could do material that you're not gonna have to worry about that crap.
Right. You can maneuver through this.
Exactly. So period. Like it depends on the comedian itself. But at the same time, it's like this whole cancel culture shit. It's not the worst thing to happen to comedy. Like it's not even close. Because back in the day, like this is maybe I don't know, I want to say 50s, 60s when they started doing like real like raunchy comedy.
Right.
There's this comedian I know. His name was I think it's Lenny Bruce, old comedian. He was getting arrested like after every show that he did because of the material he was using.
Right.
And they were like, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't say these kind of jokes, you can't like. And they would like police would be in the clubs,
right,
in the back, and then just arrest you after your show or arrest you on stage.
Right.
So it's like this cancel culture stuff. It's annoying and it's a hindrance on your career, but I mean you're not getting arrested like people were back in the day. Mm-hmm. So again, it's if you're uncomfortable with it, you're worried about it, change your material. And if you can't figure out a way to change them into them and still be funny with it, then just take the fucking risk.
Right.
You know, maybe you'll find your audience, and the main thing is for it to be funny.
Yes.
That's above all else. If it's funny, all that shit will get washed off of you. Like it'll just roll off your back, basically.
I agree, but I guess thinking about how comics feel about it, I'm assuming they're saying, like, even when stuff is funny to a certain group of people, mm-hmm. like, there's another group will come out of nowhere and say, like, hey, this is wrong or X, Y, Z. So I get their, I guess, fear over things like that because a lot of people feel like that they're losing careers that they've spent 20 or 10, 15, 20 years working on, and then they say a joke that some person just doesn't find funny, and now they're considered whatever this person has now labeled them.
But I never get why those people don't use it to their advantage. Like they offend the group. It's like, okay, they're comedians. Like their main thing is talking. Like they talk better than a lot of people out there, and they're witty. Right. So what they could do is, I don't see why they can't just talk to like some kind of organization that's big in that community. Talk to their head. Talk to the representative. Have a discussion between the two of them. Film it. And come to understanding of like the joke isn't about you. Like the joke mentions your group, but it's like about this and that. Like just because you mention something doesn't mean you're making fun of it. Does like because we said this a long time ago. It's just like the fact that you even mention the group, all of a sudden it's like no, you can't mention us in anything.
Right.
But we want to be like a part of everything.
Yeah, we want to be included in
everything, but not this.
Yeah, I mean you can't pick and choose. For the groups out there who are marginalized and understand, because we get it too, because we're a part of marginalized groups, obviously. But you can't pick and choose, and that's always been my biggest complaint about cancel culture. It's like if it's gonna be, it needs uniformity. If it's gonna be this, then let it be this. If it's not gonna be that, then we should all shut the hell up. And we should, if you have a personal problem with something that someone's saying, then you address that person. It doesn't have to be the whole fucking community. Right. Needs to band together.
Have your back so that you could talk shit about them.
Because I feel like a lot of this shit is literally just people, they want to be, what's the word? I guess vindicated on like their...
Oh, right, because they don't have enough faith in themselves and their opinion. They're like, oh, if a group of people are thinking the same thing, then I must be right.
Right, and that's what I see a lot of times on Twitter or like Instagram, TikTok. Anytime someone brings up like one of these, like a think piece type comment, it's always like you'll look at the first couple of comments and there's always a bunch of people being like, yes, you're so right and everything like that. And then like clockwork, the people who disagree will come in and they'll give their point. And then the people who agree with the original poster's point, they'll start to not even address the other commenter's point. They'll just start to talk about how you're dumb, you're stupid, or whatever they're complaining about, or you're homophobic, you're racist, or whatever. And it's like, I never know how that's gonna be like. Fucking, how's that gonna help anything? Because you're not listening to them, but you're saying that they're not listening to the poster. But they just gave a point from the poster's like comment or whatever. Right?
It's that fucking insecurity of like, oh man, they made a point and it's making me question what I know or what I believe, and I can't think of a rebuttal for it. So you're dumb. Fuck you. You're stupid. No, shut up. It's the rubber band effect thing. It's the same thing happens with people that are ultra religious, and they believe it so much, and then you present them with science facts of like, no, like there is no water god. Water just comes from this and that, science.
Right.
Because they believed it so long for their whole life, they actually just double down on it.
Right.
It's a weird. They have a term for it. It's like a rubber band something or whatever.
And when it comes to Kevin Hart, of course, I agree with Kevin Hart, but also I see Katt Williams, like, I get what he's trying to say, because he's basically saying, like, if you can't stop saying the F word, if you can't stop making, like, racial jokes or everything like that, then the problem is, like, you're the problem.
Yeah.
Because you're not adapting with, like, society and comedy and stuff like that. Completely agree. However, if you have, like, because Kevin Hart was saying there's comics that are political, there's comics that are topical, there's comics that are I forgot what he called them. He said newspaper comics, where they'll look at what's going on in the news and be like, oh, this, and they'll try to make it appeal to their life or whatever. And he's like, there's a bunch of different styles of comedy. So, like, how can we say what's good and what's bad if this has been going on forever?
Yeah, it's all subjective, Right. It's like saying that there should only be one genre of music.
Right. And that's that's not a thing, because actually he used that as a point. He was like, I don't like country music, but I'm not going to say that the people who make country music are terrible or whatever.
Or cancel them, every time they come out with a new country song. No, fuck that, cancel them.
Right. He's like, it's just not for me, so I'm just not going to listen. But they have an audience, and I respect the audience, so it is what it is.
I think a lot of cancel culture people, the ones that really fucking do it, they're bored. I think it's a lot of boredom. It's just, it's that thing we say. It's like people need drama, and that's one of the things. Like, I'm gonna fight for this. I'm gonna get attention from fighting about this, and it's about that. Because if they were just like faceless people, would they still do it if they were just faceless and they get no attention from it?
Oh, like, because we see a lot of that shit on online too, like accounts with no fucking Avi or anything.
Right,
they'll say shit too, but I would hope not, because I feel like they want the attention. But then also I think there's like a subculture of people who fucking, they get off on it now. It's not even
like the chaos.
Yeah, it's not even like the fucking. It's not even like I want attention. It's like, I just want to fuck something up today. So let me go out here and say this and say that and everything like that. And I don't know. I just think the shit is counterproductive at this point now, because we've gone, and this podcast is a great example of it. We're recording from the start of this to now, and at the start it was like every day someone new. This person's canceled. This person's canceled. This person's gone. This person lost the show. This person lost the deal. And it was like, fuck. And then a couple months later, it was like, this person got caught for this, but they were supposed to be canceled. But now they're kind of not. So...
And now we've forgotten about it.
Yeah, so it's like, whatever. And then fucking fast forward to now, it's like, oh, you're going to cancel me and everything. Like, and now...
That's just a joke.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's one thing I do dislike about the people who, I guess... are against cancel culture. Like, I don't think we're against cancel culture. I think we just think it's bullshit, but not like, if someone deserves to be canceled, cancel them.
Right.
But like, don't cancel someone because you don't like their fucking opinion.
Yeah.
Like, that's the bullshit part of it, right? But I feel like now people, they use it as like a fucking marketing ploy, or like a badge of honor, where it's like, oh, I don't give a fuck about cancel culture, so I'll say whatever I want. But it's like,
it wasn't even funny.
Yeah, it's hacky.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's just like, no, don't
shock value.
Yeah, don't make that your fucking bit now and everything like that.